You're watching Channel 5, the Super Bowl station. Now, Jane McGarry, Mike Snyder, Scott Murray on sports, and meteorologist David Finfrock. Live, this is Texas News 5 at 10.
Here comes the Cowboys. It's Thomas Everett with one man to beat Tina, and now he's on his way. Don Beebe, the lone Bills. Touchdown, Dallas. Emmett breaks a tackle. 10, 5, touchdown. Smith, touchdown.
It was a beautiful thing. The Dallas Cowboys stage a furious second-half rally to bury the Buffalo Bills. They become only the 5th team in NFL history to win back-to-back Super Bowl titles.
North Texas, the parties are underway as the Cowboy fans celebrate an encore in '94. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Mike and Scott, what a second half for the Cowboys tonight.
Oh, don't you know it? It is a wonderful night here in Atlanta. We were a little bit worried, I think, in the first half that we weren't going to be celebrating tonight, but the boys came through, and Emmitt Smith, of course, led the stampede of the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl XXVIII to romp right over the Buffalo Bills.
Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson on their 5th year under Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, and of course the situation evolves where they now suddenly have 2 Vince Lombardi trophies, emblematic of being the #1 team in the National Football League. They have won the Super Bowl for the 2nd year in a row. This afternoon, it was a final of 30-13. Emmitt Smith, as Mike alluded to, outstanding, wins the Rozelle Trophy, the Rozelle Award, as the most valuable player in the Super Bowl. His teammate Troy Aikman won it last year, so Smith really caps a phenomenal year. He's the MVP in the NFL, and of course he wins the trophy now as the MVP in the Super Bowl. By the way,
mean D for dynasty, I guess. Huh?
Before you get to that, Michael, let's go to Bill Jones, who's standing by at the Georgia Dome with the man who finished runner-up in the MVP balloting today. James Washington had a touchdown, an outstanding game on defense for Dallas. Bill?
Scott, many people think there should have been co-MVPs in this Super Bowl. One on offense, Emmitt Smith, the other on defense, James Washington. And James Washington has been kind enough to stick around. The rest of the team has just left on the buses to head back to the team hotel back-to-back. You're dancing out here.
Hey, back-to-back, you know, we're bringing it back to Dallas. I mean, the best fans, the best people I've ever played for, and they've treated me lovely since I've been there, the 4 years that I've been there. This is a great opportunity for me to showcase my talents. Emmitt does deserve the MVP because he does it day in and day out. I did it one time, you know. He comes out, and without him, we wouldn't even been in the show for me to do it.
How much more special is this Super Bowl win for you, though, since you did contribute in the big way that you did today?
Well, I mean, I contributed last year, but I was kind of lost in the shadows. I mean, I was the one who got the first turnover and stopped all the drives last year when we beat Buffalo in Los Angeles. But it kind of went unknown because they was trying to fade me out the system. But this year, I got an opportunity to play again, made my plays, and that's all that really counts.
Now, you've been telling us for a couple of years now that you are a Pro Bowl player, and you truly believe that, and this is pretty much proof of that, isn't it?
I have ways that I know that when I'm in the game, I can take over a game. I mean, I've proven that when I started. I mean, there's times that I can get in the zone and I can take over games. But I don't beat to Jimmy's drum. You know, James kind of beats to his own drum, but that's what Jimmy likes. As long as you have your own personality, but I never step on Jimmy's toes. You know, I'm smart. I mean, you know, he butters my bread, and I'm not going to step on his toes, but I'm going to do the things that I'm capable of doing and show up for our team. I play for my teammates. I don't play for the fans. I don't play for the coaches. I play for my teammates.
And you have room for another ring on that finger, and you want to go on Arsenio now, right?
Hey, man, my goal and dream was always to go on Arsenio, and that's I'm from Los Angeles, and I hopefully Arsenio, you know, I got enough highlights and plays he can show and talk to me about.
All right, James Washington, congratulations. We'll have much more. The players are headed back to the team hotel now. It's getting a little quiet around here, but much more from the Georgia Dome. John Radigan and myself will be along in a little bit. Now back to you, Scott.
Okay, thank you much, Bill Jones, live from the Georgia Dome. We'll check in with Bill momentarily during Sports Extra. And, of course, we are at the Players Hotel, and the players and what have you beginning to file in behind us. But right now we'd like to take you back to the Georgia Dome and show you what transpired earlier today. The Buffalo Bills lose to the 2-time world champion, Super Bowl champion, Dallas Cowboys by a score of 30-13. Here's a look at some of the highlights. We'll pick it up in the first quarter with a score tied at 3. Troy Aikman going to work. Hits Alvin Harper for his first reception of the day, 24 yards to the Buffalo 15. But again, the Cowboys were stalled, settled for another Eddie Murray field goal. Dallas led 6-3. Trailing 6-3 when the second quarter began, Buffalo, aided by a roughing the kicker call, continued its drive in the second quarter. TCUX, Kenneth Davis with an 8-yard pickup. Then Thomas from 4 yards out. Thurman Thomas put Buffalo on top by a score of 10-6. And late in the first half, Buffalo would get more. With 1:03 left in the half, number 37, Nate Odoms, picks off the Aikman pass, returns it to his own 48. And Jim Kelly went right to work, hitting Andre Reed for a 22-yard pickup down to the Dallas 12. But the Dallas D tightened, forcing the Bills to settle for a 28-yard field goal from Steve Christie. 2 seconds left in the half, and Buffalo with a surprising lead of 13-6 at the intermission. Trailing 13-6 in the third quarter, Dallas quickly knotted the score. Last year's GOAT in Super Bowl XXVII, Leon Lett, forces another Thurman Thomas fumble, his second on the day. James Washington picks it up and takes it in to tie the score at 13. After Buffalo failed to move the ball, Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys go to work. Emmitt carrying the ball 7 of 8 times on this particular drive for 61 yards. Dallas suddenly found itself on top 20-13 after 3 quarters of play. As it turned out, the final would read 30-13, and for the second year in a row, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Buffalo Bills in the champions of the NFL.
That's a great feeling to be back here and for us to go out and under circumstances that we've been under all year to rise to the challenge and be back here in the Super Bowl and to go out at halftime, go down at halftime down to Buffalo, a great Buffalo team, and to take on the challenge in the third quarter with James Washington leading the way with the interceptions and the touchdowns. I mean, it's just a great effort by everybody.
Yeah, you feel for him. I mean, you really do feel for him, but, you know, we couldn't help him. What do you want us to do? Say, hey, we're sorry. You guys go ahead and win. We couldn't help them. You know what I mean? I mean, you say, hey, got 4 in a row. You know, you see them at the end of the game when the game's almost over. You can see them hurting. I see them hurting, and I hurt for them. But by the same token, you know, I'm glad. I mean, we've accomplished something here. No team ever started 0-2 and still won the Super Bowl. We did that. We've accomplished something here, and that's something great for us, and that's all. You know what I mean?
A big round of applause and lots of cheers just went up behind us as the Cowboys have arrived. And they've got a party that's coming up momentarily just on the other side of us here, and we'll have more on that during the course of Sports Extra, which is coming up in about 10 minutes. But stay tuned for that. So we'll see you very, very shortly.
And if you think it's not crazy now, wait until the Lombardi Trophy gets here in just a little bit, because it's going to go absolutely nuts when they arrive. Now, I don't have to tell you that it was crazy over in the Georgia Dome today. And, well, let's put it this way. Dallas fans were almost out of control. Despite the first half score, the true blue Dallas fans never did lose faith, and they were ready to cheer to the end. There was no missing Art Roberts in his end zone seat. This Arlington fan has worn this fuzzy dew and blue and silver painted face to every Cowboys game. Why do you do this?
Well, I love the Cowboys, and we try to make it to every Super Bowl. We were there last year, our brothers. All the brothers were there. They couldn't make it, Lindy Lane and Lance. But they're back home watching us on the big screen right now, and we're trying to pull the Cowboys through. Art draws some strange but loving looks from his surrounding fellow fans.
Is this embarrassing to some degree for Dallas Cowboys?
No. You got to go all out. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You got to go all out.
Some Dallas fans who came here without tickets were just glad to be cheering amongst friends when the boys were behind.
Hey, kids! We're going to win! We're going to win this thing!
Remember the Ferguson clan who came here a couple of tickets short of the 16 they needed? All 16 got in.
Relieved.
Relieved. That's exactly the word.
Grateful and relieved. Very, very grateful.
Not be standing out there with one of those signs saying, we need tickets.
Watching the first half was tough for Dallas fans, fearing the Buffalo Bills just might make the fourth-time charm. Among those concerned was Governor Ann Richards, that is until the start of the second half.
I was scared to death. I was on my feet. I was hollering, Cowboys, shape up, tighten up, and they did.
My, what a difference a half makes.
I know it. They went out there and Jimmy gave them a little lecture. He said, okay, now, boys, settle down. This is just a football game.
Well, the boys apparently got the message, because you know what the score was at the end. The Cowboys have won their second straight Super Bowl in a row, and of course the governor gets her football bragging rights for one more year over all the other governors of this country. Well, as you might imagine, the fans here at the Cowboys Hotel are thrilled to see the Cowboys. You've heard the cheers going on behind us. Texas News 5's Deborah Ferguson is out amongst all of the cheering fans here waiting for the arrival of Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson and that ever-important Lombardi trophy. Deborah?
Mike, it is very exciting in the lobby all through the week. The amount of crowds here in the lobby have picked up. There's been more excitement. There's been more anticipation about this game. So you can imagine with the Cowboys' victory this evening, this crowd is going nuts. In fact, they have restricted traffic into the Cowboys Hotel to only people who have room keys, to members of the media, and to those invited guests of Jerry Jones' victory party, which is going on in the ballroom just on the other side of the hotel. Mike, in fact, 2 local radio stations, I'm told, announced that this victory party was free and open to the public. There are numerous police officers here trying to keep the fans out of the hotel so that the players can get to their rooms, get rested up, and get back to the party, of course, celebrate the big Super Bowl championship back-to-backs at that. Of course, being at the game was a dream come true for a lot of people, especially for a 13-year-old Denton County boy named Daniel Wendell, who today lived a dream come true. Mike, that Daniel Wendell was at the game. He cheered and he celebrated. We introduced you to him. We introduced him to you earlier in the week. We'll have that story later about how he cheered the Cowboys to victory along with thousands of others. But again, you mentioned that the players are arriving at the hotel. They continue to do so. Team owner Jerry Jones has arrived. He's at the victory party. He had, of course, an ear-to-ear smile on his face. His team coming and winning 2 back-to-back Super Bowl championships, something not done in quite a few years, Mike.
Well, of course, we'll get to see that little boy in Sports Extra, and then we're going to have Jimmy and Jerry, of course, and all the highlights coming up in Scott Murray's Sports Extra, an extended version, and, of course, Deborah and I will be along. We'll be doing live interviews out here in the hallway. It's going to be a fun night, Jane. But, you know, all of the celebrations, I don't have to tell you this, they're not just going on here. I can imagine the folks back home are going crazy, too.
No, you should have seen the cars on the highway right after the game ended. Everybody was going to parties, I guess. The celebrations are underway here at home. Texas News 5's Kathleen McDonald is in the West End. Kathleen, how's it look down there?
Well, Jane, they call it Cowboy Madness, and for good reason. Just take a look at the crowd behind me. I am standing at the corner of Market and Ross here in the West End, and it is a zoo. Shortly after the game ended, hundreds of Cowboy fanatics left the bars and restaurants and hit the streets of Dallas. By the carloads, they paraded through the West End, honking horns and waving flags. Today's victory sent Dallas fans into a frenzy.
The Cowboys Super Bowl champs, twice in a row. We're going through our 3-peat now.
We're the elite. We're the Cowboys. Thank you, God.
It's the second time they won the Super Bowl, so I think that we're good luck. So we'll be back next year also. Cowboys! Cowboys! Yeah!
We're the best. The very best.
As fans party out here, police patrol. More than 350 extra officers have been called in to make sure the celebrations don't turn violent. Officers are on foot, in their cars, and on motorcycles and horseback, making their presence known out here. They're patrolling not only the West End, but Greenville and Deep Ellum. Last year there was plenty of partying, public intoxication, and a few brawls, but no major incidents of violence. Police hope, Jane, that is indeed the case again this year. And they tell me so far they have made no arrests and that there have been no major incidents of violence. That's the latest from here. I probably won't be able to hear you, Jane. Back to the studio.
I don't think you will be able to. So far, everything looks loud but safe tonight in the West End. Thanks, Kathleen.
You're welcome.
All around North Texas, people were glued to television sets this evening. Some watched in their homes. Others attended the many Super Bowl watch parties being held in the area. Radio station KVIL, you're seeing here, hosted this bash in the ballroom at the Westin Galleria in Dallas. It seems no matter where you went today, people had their eyes on a television or their ears close to a radio. Many were dressed in Cowboys silver and blue. Texas News 5's Ramona Logan joins us live now from a t-shirt plant that's making a new addition to Cowboy fans' wardrobes tonight. What's the slogan on the shirt say, Ramona?
Well, it says Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys, and I'm out here at the Silver Wings production company where they are cranking these t-shirts out all night long. They are hot off the press. Now, these t-shirts are probably going to be as hot as those Super Bowl tickets, but I tell you, for a while there, some of those Cowboys fans were worried that their celebrations might not go the right way. At Baylor Medical Center, the 9th floor nurses station didn't have time to watch the game, but they definitely had the spirit. Cowboy colors, balloons, posters, and t-shirts everywhere.
Oh, I want them to win. 20-point advantage.
Almost all the TVs in the hospital were turned to the Super Bowl, including the one in Ernie Robertson's room.
All right, now let's do it. Come on.
He was worried about his team in the first half.
Well, we're going to do better than this. I'm not worried yet, but we're not playing like we did last week. Of course, neither is Buffalo.
By halftime, the Cowboys were still down, but 1,000-plus Cowboy fans at Prestonwood Baptist Church cheered them on with the wave and chants. Reverend Jack Graham called it a party with a purpose and delivered a brief message on making a comeback.
Worst thing you can do when you're behind is panic. So they just need to stick to their knitting and get back to the basics.
The Cowboys made that comeback straight out of halftime, sending fans at Randy White's All-American Bar and Grill into a cheering frenzy.
Will pull it out with Emmett and Playmaker. They'll all pull it out. I guarantee the Cowboys will pull it out for us.
I flew in from Buffalo because I'm a big-time Dallas Cowboy fan. And I tell you what, when I got to the plane this morning, I knew that the Cowboys were going to win.
And now joining me now is Mike Farrer, who is president of Silver Wing Productions. And Mike, I know you have a ton of orders to get out tonight. What's your life going to be like for the next couple of days?
Sleepless.
What all do you have to do?
Well, we have to print a lot of T-shirts. We'll run all night. We'll have crews come in 12-hour shifts around the clock for most of the week.
Okay, now what would have happened, heaven forbid, if the Cowboys didn't win?
Well, we would have gotten more sleep.
So this is really a big, their victory is really success for you too.
It's very important to us. As a matter of fact, the shirts we're printing are if-win basis only. Only if the Cowboys win do we print.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you can get a cat nap here or two overnight. And Jane, back to you.
Some people have suggested that Dallas Dynasty would look good on those shirts. Thank you, Ramona. The post-game celebrations were a little more subdued in Buffalo than here in North Texas, of course. You don't even need to know the score to know what the outcome of the game was. Just take a look at the sad faces in the crowd.
There was no turnovers, and they had one.
All I know is I thought they were going to bring it home for sure this year. I didn't think this would happen again. I don't know what to say. I can't believe it.
For all these fans, it was a bitter defeat. It was the Bills' fourth chance to win a Super Bowl ring. Many diehard Cowboy fans long to see the game in person. There are some lucky fans who got to do just that. We'll tell you about that. Also, seeing the Super Bowl in person was a dream come true for one little boy. His story when we come back. Stay with us.
Doc, I'm really worried about my fat intake. How can I lower my cholesterol level? I don't know.
If only kids cared about what they ate as much as you do. Well, they don't. That's why there's Lightly 97 hot dogs from Hormel, with only 1 gram of fat and 1 great taste. So, until kids care about what they eat.
Well, I gotta do something about this root beer belly.
Lightly 97 from Hormel, the one to serve.
He traveled across the state to uncover a massive injustice. Now, public defender Marty Griffin has the tape. The undercover tape exposing one of the country's biggest insurance companies routinely breaking the law, victimizing customers just like you. What he uncovered is devastating. It will trigger a state government investigation. Now, you'll see what this insurance company wishes never happened. Wednesday night at 10 on Channel 5.
We want you to guess the price on it. It's a Mercury Grand Marquis.
Grand Marquis.
22.5.
23,000.
24,000. 24,900.
25,000.
You got dual airbags, V8 rear-wheel drive.
Big trunk.
All that car for
a sticker price of only $19,990. Now, do you think that's a deal or what?
That's a deal.
What a bargain.
Are you serious? Well, less than $20,000.
Wow. Very nice.
Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
When I came to the U.S., I left all my friends back home.
Introducing AT&T True World Savings with an introductory offer. 50% off weekend calls to your special country anytime.
First, I'll call Nigel, or maybe Jeremy. Then my sister, and Priya, she married.
So pick your special country and call everyone and save 50% off AT&T's all discounted international rates. Any weekend, AT&T.
Your true voice.
Early this morning, the last plane load of fans left North Texas bound for the Super Bowl. DFW Airport was crowded with anxious Cowboy fans all ready to cheer the boys on to victory.
I'm excited. This is my first time. First time to go see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
This will be my 10th this year.
What do you think about them going to the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Can't wait.
Each fan got a Cowboy bag and souvenir hat before getting on the plane. For many, going to the Super Bowl was a dream come true. And Atlanta is the city of dreams tonight for Dallas fans. Let's go back now to Mike at the Cowboy Hotel. And I know that's going to be some party.
Oh, let me tell you. And you talk about dreams that come true, Jane. There's this one little boy who coming to the Super Bowl was more than he had ever dreamed or hoped for. Texas News 5's Deborah Ferguson joins us now from the lobby of this very excited hotel with his story.
Mike, the job of the Dallas-based Make-A-Wish Foundation is to make the wishes come true for terminally ill children. Where today, a 13-year-old Denton County boy, Daniel Wendell, lived a dream come true. More than 70,000 people packed the Georgia Dome for Super Bowl XXVIII and the rematch of the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. The excitement level was high, fans anxious to cheer, and they let out a thunderous roar well before Grammy Award winner Natalie Cole had even finished singing the national anthem. But as beautiful as her voice is, seeing her perform was just a small part of a wish come true for 13-year-old Daniel Wendell. This teenager from Corinth near Denton is a big Cowboys fan. He's also a leukemia patient. He and his dad came to the Super Bowl courtesy of a stranger and the Dallas-based Make-A-Wish Foundation.
A guy from Pennsylvania, he donated the tickets to Make-A-Wish, and they called me, or they called my mom and asked if I wanted to do it, so she called me at school and asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said yeah.
He may not sound too excited, but he is. Daniel and his dad got in town on Friday and wasted no time in heading to the NFL Experience, a giant football theme park. Today, the pair arrived at the Dome early, and Daniel got to see his favorite team warm up.
It's cool.
Is that
I like it. It's cool. I didn't expect all this, all these people and stuff.
And when the big game finally got underway, Daniel was there, ready to cheer his team on to a back-to-back championship. Daniel is a little shy, but his dad says this trip means more to the young man than the stranger in Philadelphia will ever know.
It's a dream come true for him.
Sorry about that.
Mike, the little boy, Daniel Wendell, he had a great time here. He had a great experience, but I got to tell you, I think he's ready to go back to Corinth. He kept saying Atlanta's just a little bit too busy for him. The crowd's just a little bit too big. They kept trying to go to restaurants with all the Super Bowl fans. The lines were an hour and a half long. So if his mom is watching tonight, Mom, he's probably going to want some good home-cooked food when he gets there. Mike?
Experience of a lifetime for sure.
Definitely.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Deborah. Well, Jane, there's much more to come live here from the Cowboys headquarters hotel. We will be back in just a few minutes live from Atlanta.
Okay, Mike. Meanwhile, snow is in the Texas forecast again, but will we see any around here? David's up next with the weather. Police believe they have found the body of a missing North Texas teenager. If you wear contact lens, you won't want to miss our public defender report. And we'll go back live to Atlanta for more from Super Bowl XXVIII. Stay with us for all that coming up.
Arrow 97.9, all rock and roll oldies.
30 seconds, guys, or you forfeit.
If you've experienced some delays because of the new Arrow 97.9, we're sorry. People just seem to have fun listening to the Arrow.
Everybody, we will rock you.
All your favorite rock and roll from the 70s with no disco or hard rock. Arrow 97.9.
This Camel's system is so adaptive, it can travel 50 miles in desert heat without taking fluid, making it one of the world's most dependable animals. This automobile system is so adaptive that if necessary for your safety, it is engineered to travel 50 miles in desert heat without a single drop of coolant, which might also tell you something about its dependability. The Seville STS with the North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
In a place where boys were trained to be men of the cloth, nearly a dozen priests violated a sacred trust. Watch Inside Edition. Monday night at 6:30 on Channel 5.
What's for dinner? Owens Family Restaurant. We're cooking up all your favorites just the way you like them, so come on out. I'm Jerry Owens, and I'll be holding the table for you. Oh, and I'll save you some dessert. Owens Country Sausage is made with the just right seasoned taste that you'll like better than all the rest. I'm so sure of it, I personally stand behind it. And to make doubly sure, they stand behind me. So you're always sure to get the best taste.
Guaranteed! During our prime rib feast at Steak and Ale, each of our prime rib cuts comes with something charming, inviting, hot, and crisp. All for as little as $8.95. The prime rib feast at Steak and Ale.
Encore 94, indeed, it is an exciting night here at the Cowboys headquarters hotel after that momentous win in Super Bowl XXVIII. Jane, lots more to come live here from Atlanta just a little bit later. But first, let's go back home to you for a wrap-up of the day's news.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Authorities tonight are trying to identify a body found in Lake Ray Hubbard this morning. Police believe the body may be that of a 14-year-old boy who has been missing since December 12th. The body was discovered on the north side of the lake near the area where the missing teen was last seen.
The accident occurred probably 100 to 150 yards from the bank area where we're standing. The boy jumped out of a boat and tried to swim back to the bank, did not make it.
The Dallas Medical Examiner is scheduled to identify the body Monday. If you or someone close to you wears contacts, you'll want to listen to our next story. The Texas Attorney General's office and a Florida company tonight are fighting about how often contact wearers should visit an eye doctor. Public Defender Sabrina Smith has more for us. Sabrina?
Well, Jane, the folks out there are probably like me. If they have disposable contacts, they rip, they fall out. Everything that happens to them usually does happen to them. And when something happens to your daily wear contacts, you order more, right? Well, state law says you need a doctor's written prescription to do that. But a company called Lens Express insists that should not be the case. It's fighting the state for a consumer's right to order lenses without a doctor's consent. And some doctors don't like that one bit.
Look up now for me if you would.
For eye doctor Craig Hughes, hindsight is 20/20. He wishes he would have told his patients about a state law before they ordered replacement contacts from Lens Express. He says the Florida company sold the contacts without a written prescription from him. That violates Texas law. Some of Hughes' patients thought the company had checked with their doctor to approve the sale.
And they would say, well, you okayed a prescription. I say, no, Janie, I didn't.
Susan Al-Nubani recently called Lens Express. She says a rep told her she didn't need written permission from a doctor to order contacts.
He said, well, do you know your prescription? And I said, well, I can read it right off the box. And he said, well, do that.
Some think you should be able to reorder contacts by reading the prescription off an old box. But doctors say that's dangerous because prescriptions do change. An old prescription might not be right for your eyes anymore. Doctors say that could cause infection and allergies to develop.
There are certain allergies that can smolder, and we can save the health of their eyes or get them into contact lenses more comfortably.
FZBD4. Right.
The Texas Attorney General insists he's protecting consumer health by requiring a written prescription from a doctor. The AG has sued Lens Express for allowing patients to order contacts without a doctor's consent. In turn, Lens Express is suing the AG. The company charges the AG's office is creating a monopoly for doctors, forcing people to go to their physician to get contacts. We asked a man who sells contacts if he thinks it's necessary to see a doctor before reordering.
For the eyeball's health, the cornea's health, when they get replacement lenses, they need to see, their eye specialist.
But Lin's Express President Brian O'Neill feels much different. He says the state's requirement of a written prescription from a doctor isn't necessary to protect the health of consumers. O'Neill says the state is really going too far and only helping doctors reap a profit. But for now, Lin's Express does agree to tell consumers in its ads that they'll need a doctor's consent before they reorder their contacts.
What about other states? Do they have that requirement?
Well, we checked on that, Jane, and we talked to some different states, and they do say that the best thing to do is probably to go to your doctor, but there are some states that let you do what you want to do. You can just simply call and get your contacts right away. You don't need a written prescription, so it varies from state to state.
Good information if you wear contacts. Thanks, Sabrina. There's snow in our forecast again, but will we see any in Dallas-Fort Worth? David?
Well, already some folks are seeing it, Jane. Look at our radar here. You can see this is all light rain and drizzle down here from the Lake Whitney area over towards Hillsboro and westward back through the Granbury vicinity. This, though, is a band of light snow, and we've gotten calls in from a number of weather watchers, particularly up here in Denton County and Wise counties, from Chico down towards Decatur, from Denton up towards Pilot Point and Sanger. We've had reports of light snow, moderate snow at times, heavy enough to at least cover the grassy areas and on tops of car tops and elevated objects off the ground. No reports anywhere of snow sticking on the street surfaces, although out in West Texas there is considerably more of a problem. We'll get to that momentarily, though. First, a look at what we got right now, and it is not snowing at DFW Airport. 38 degrees there, cloudy, but there has been snow reported at Alliance Field and at Meacham Field in far north Fort Worth. So the snow is beginning to work into the northern sections of Tarrant County, not yet at DFW or into Dallas. 38 currently, the dew point 27, humidity 64%, the barometer on the rise, and the wind picking up now out of the northeast as an Arctic cool front begins to push on through. We had a low of 29, a high of 47 today, and that did leave us again below normal, and expect it to be considerably colder than that tomorrow. Here's the snow on the ground at this time, and reports in Amarillo of as much as 9 inches of snow. Obviously, all sorts of travel problems through the Panhandle. Dalhart's had 7 inches, Childress 3, Canyon and Floydada have reported 6 inches, about 1 inch now in Wichita Falls, and we're just getting about a 1/4 inch coverage on some of the grassy areas now up in Denton and Wise counties, and we will see some snow here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area during the night. There's that band of snow off to our north. I still don't anticipate any major problems. It doesn't look to be nearly as good a chance as we had yesterday for a heavy snow event here in the Metroplex, but light snow, to be sure, will be passing through our area during the night. 29, still snowing in Wichita Falls. Look how much colder it is back up here into the Panhandle, where temperatures have already dropped down into the teens. And as this Arctic front continues to sag southward, the northeasterly wind will continue to drop our temperatures here for the next couple of days. Check the rest of the country. You'll see that we do have quite chilly temperatures. The highs today only in the single digits across the northern plains, but only in far northern Maine did we find a region where the temperatures never got above 0. But it is plenty cold, with temperatures dipping below 0 as far south as Omaha right now, and this cold air will continue to drive on southward. In the upper levels, we've got a couple of little spokes in the atmosphere. The upper level winds as they spin around, one of them passing through North Texas tonight. The next one will come on through tomorrow, but I think that'll pass far enough to the southwest that the bulk of the snow tomorrow will be down in southwest Texas. We'll still see some flurries during the day on Monday, but again, I don't anticipate any major problems here, although 1/4 to 1/2 inch, especially on the grassy surfaces, is quite likely. Tonight, cloudy and cold. There'll be a little light rain starting out, but it'll quickly become mixed with snow and then change over to all snow. Low about 30, a few snow flurries during the day Monday. Mostly cloudy, although we will see some sunshine on Tuesday. It will continue quite chilly. Our temperatures then dropping down to about 30 at daybreak, 34 tomorrow. And again, with temperatures near freezing, we could wind up with a few icy bridges. We want to be very careful in the morning. I don't look for any major snow coverage. Tuesday, colder still, down to 22, but it should be dry then.
Okay, thanks, David. Back-to-back championships tonight for the Cowboys in the Georgia Dome. Sports Director Scott Murray joins us again from Atlanta. Scott, what you got coming up in Sports Extra?
Well, we're going to be back in about 2 minutes live from Atlanta. We'll have all kinds of players, all kinds of coaches. We'll go to the Georgia Dome. We'll go back to Dallas, where celebrations continue as the Cowboys win their 2nd straight consecutive World Championship. Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, you name it. We'll be back with more right after this. So stay tuned for Sports Extra.
Mitsubishi has just given luxury a new lease on life, announcing the 1994 Galant lease. Just $179 a month and only $500 down. When you lease a Galant, you get luxury you can use. Advanced safety, comfort, and performance. We call it meaningful luxury. The all-new Galant, just $179 a month when you lease for 24 months.
Amy Jones had just bought her instant lottery ticket when...
I don't know how to play.
Don't worry. Scratchman is here. You take your coin of preference and simply scratch it back and forth like this. Or, if you like me...
Play free across Texas for 3 chances to win up to $5,000.
Like this?
Sure. Scratchman, in pursuit of instant winners.
It's morning workouts and power lunches, a little light reading, and stimulating conversation. It's glamorous days, leisurely nights, staying out late and keeping a step ahead. It's actions that speak loudly, and a word best defined by the people who spell it out. Channel 5, the Texas News Channel.
Now at Circuit City, everything is on sale. Every TV, VCR, and camcorder is on sale. Every computer, printer, and monitor is on sale. Every audio system, CD player, and loudspeaker is on sale. Every car stereo, portable stereo, and telephone is on sale. And every washer, dryer, and refrigerator is on sale. Plus, get 0% interest for 6 months on everything over $249.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state of the art.
The Dallas Cowboys are champions again, 10 straight wins by the NFC.
Live from Atlanta, this is a Super Bowl edition of Scott Murray's Sports Extra.
Anybody that knows me, I'm not much of a historian. I just know that we won the Super Bowl the last 2 years in a row.
And how about them Cowboys as a result for Jimmy Johnson and the world champion, the Super Bowl champions for the 2nd year in a row, the Dallas Cowboys. Hello again, everybody. I'm Scott Murray. We welcome you to this late edition of Sports Extra. We're going to be here into the night for the next couple of hours, whatever it takes to tell you what transpired this afternoon at the nearby Georgia Dome here in Atlanta, Georgia, as we come to you live with all the recap of the Cowboys' 30-13 win over the Buffalo Bills for the 2nd year in a row in the Super Bowl. And we are delighted to welcome right now the special teams coach of the Dallas Cowboys, those Super Bowl champions, 2nd time around, Joe Avizano. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a fabulous experience.
Is it as good the 2nd time as it was just a year ago?
I think it's more rewarding because what our players endured this year with the various injuries and the holdouts and just the things that piled up on us, to come back and do this like this is a fascinating story about what I think are good players that play good. I really enjoy watching our team.
And special teams, so strong in 91. I think 91's the year that you won the NFL Special
That's
Teams
correct.
Coach of the Year award. Then they kind of fell off in 92, and here in 93 really come on strong again, and you pick up a guy like John Jett, you pick up a guy like Eddie Murray, and everybody comes together and you see like what some of the fellas have done this year. That's got to be really pleasing to you.
There's no question about that, and I really feel happy for those guys. A lot of those guys you just mentioned. John Jett, first time around. Eddie Murray, 13th or 14th year, and never having won anything like this.
And after that first field goal, I think he high-fived every player that was on the field today. Boy, was he excited.
What a great thing to see a guy like that in the Bill Bateses, the long-time guys, the Elvis Pattersons, the Joe Fishbacks, Matt Vanderbeeks, all these special teams guys, first time around, helped us win, and they're going to be rewarded with that ring. It was fabulous to see the way our team just overcame things, and here we were. Second half today was just a monstrous type of exhibition by one heck of a football team.
And I might embarrass you with this comment, but the players, I think, especially those on special teams, we talk about the offense and the defense day in and day out, but there's a special camaraderie among those fellas on the special teams. And you talk about a guy like Bill Bates, who you told me after the game was actually in tears. He didn't get a chance to play last year. A lot of people thought his career was finished, and came back and had one of his best years ever.
Yeah, it's hard to sometimes talk about that because what we do is so personal. With 53 guys and a coaching staff hang together 7 months out of the year, 7 days a week, and to see guys like that, the Bateses, and the people that come back from injuries and the mental part that they overcome, it's a fascinating thing to be involved in, and to be two-time back-to-back champions, it's humbling. I mean, it's people think we're an arrogant football team. We're a good football team, and there's nothing wrong with people knowing that, and we show it by the way we play. But my goodness, what a ball club.
Congratulations,
Thank
my friend.
you so much.
Well deserved.
I hope you guys have a good night tonight sitting here.
Oh, we'll have a lot of fun.
If you want me again, I'm going to be in that other room.
About 2 hours, huh?
And I'll be singing here after a while.
Right. Thank you much, Joe Avanzano. Now let's take a look at quarter number one. As we said, the Cowboys a winner over the Buffalo Bills. Year here in the Super Bowl, 30-13. And here now a look at the highlights from earlier this afternoon.
Paul, let me first say that this is possible because a man has worked and given everything that he could give, and I'm talking about Jimmy, since we came here. And his spirit and his effort is reflected in the way these players play. This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL, and it's a privilege. Thank you.
Well, Jerry, I think everybody's kind of gotten a kick out of Jimmy and Jerry and thinking that we were at each other's throat. When you win these kind of things, the only thing you're going to do at each other's throat is hug it.